Alright, welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4 Millennium Dawn modded playthrough of Chechnya. This is not our original place. This is over here, actually. Right, this is Chechnya. This little place here with Grozny. Um, so that is the homeland. We're actually just making expansionary imperialist moves for resources. You know, like a growing industrial power does. When no one wants to trade away their resources at good deals, so you go make good deals at the expense of a bunch of people's happiness. Um, yeah, so rail lines are getting built. We need right now. We don't have the population we would like. Let's see our 0% unemployment. We're at complete full employment, which is horrible. Not really working. Let's check on. Yeah, we're still at 77% worker fulfillment too. Though we did gain a percent of fulfillment in offices. I think we were at 87.5. So we're recovering, I guess, is the takeaway from that. And then political power and faction wise, looks like our non-aligned faction is growing. We've shrunk the gap down to 10%. It's probably not fast enough to make up the difference in 1 year to retake power of the government, but we're going to try. And by God, we are going to try our damnedest to do that. All right. I think any of our further expenses on political power are going to be to reduce the Democratic Party directly. No, we still have a percentage on this we need to get rid of. Never mind. Never mind, we have one more click here. I can't actually. I don't think there's any selections there. Oh, maybe here? You can never change these. Nice. That's super nice to know. All right, keep paying down our debt. We're almost below that 6% mark. We did get an upgrade for the turbine engine. So basically the plan for our equipment is super fast, super effective tanks for fighting in these planes. And then we're going to go for a attack helicopter mix later on. Yeah, everything we're fighting is like a coastal plane right now. And research-wise, we're just going to be playing catch-up. Apparently Chechnya does not get access to the space program, or I've completely missed it. But we can't build anything. It's so lame. Like, I don't know if that's a bug, but it's not even an available project for us. Period. End of story. And let's see. Yeah, we need to upgrade the SAM. That's what it was. And once we get to the last one, I need to see if we can assign an industry to it. I don't think we can. I don't think it lets us for SAMs. Even though it would make sense for it to be like a defense contractor. Um, yeah, I just noticed. So our non-aligned ran out for bonuses. Let's see if it pops up again. And we're up to almost 25%. Yeah, it looks like we're taking nationalist more than we are anything else. Alignment. And maybe emerging as well. And we've beat that 6% mark. That's really good for us. So we can work again on foreign investment pretty comfortably here to boost our income at the same rate as paying down the debt would work. But we do want to keep that always at 15 of 15 investments just because there's a capacity limit. We can always pay down debt. We can't always invest. Yep. Definitely going to work on cyber warfare stuff. It must have been the enrichment plant and an agency thing completed in that other episode. Our construction rate 600%. That's pretty wild. We are at 109. It is rapidly dropping though. We're going to go ahead and boost that up. Still can't boost non-aligned. I assume it'll pop back in here pretty shortly. I'm wondering if it'll be the 34th decision. Yeah, because we had 1 year exactly to make moves. Don't see it yet. Oh, it is still a hidden option due to previous use. Actually, what is our level of independence to? So foreign influence. So we're back to 53%. China has dropped down to 27. from a high of around 40 something, which is a big difference. Yeah, and then our decisions came back as we got non-aligned again. So we're going to run that. And it looks like our GDP growth is actually pushing our debt down. Is good. But we're also paying more money in these additional propaganda campaigns we're running. We're almost to 90% fulfillment in offices, so that is countering that to a small degree. We've increased our GDP by $1 trillion. We have lost some factory availability. All right, so not a lot going on here right away. Production wise, we're still short that one factory for trains. We're modernizing our bombers. We do need to modernize our artillery units still. I am going to actually release an upgraded tank module right now, so let's create a variant here. Upgrade our main battle gun tank gun. So medium to future medium. We should have drones now, so let's get support drones. Even if they're not the best, they're just the rank 1s. Actually, I can quick upgrade on that? Yeah, we got higher in defensive systems. Blowout panels. Yep. Better gas turbine. Still super slow though. Anyway, we'll make this the 2 Mark A. So 2A1. A lot of upgrades there, so that's pretty nice. We're up to 700 fighters in reserve, so let's go ahead and fill out our interceptions in Chechnya. We're, looks like, out of here, so let's get 200 planes. And they're all to be deployed. We got 500 interceptors. Surface to air missiles. Running pretty good efficiency. I'm surprised it's not showing it would be 100% though. I don't know why that would get dragged down. We don't have any ace pilots yet, so not even a concern. Our minor power is not yet back up to 100, like Sorry, to 1% of global GDP. We are now the second power, though, as far as political party that we want in charge. So that's good. So still working on that, though. All right. Like some of our rail lines are finishing up there. That's good. Making progress. Yeah, because we do have a couple major wars we're going to need to start, especially with Kazakhstan. 10 mechanized units isn't a great amount of them. And let's check our special forces as well. Yeah, we exceed our capacity right now anyway. So that in and of itself is a problem. Priority is always reinforcements. Raids, operations can be low. We'll just make sure that's aligned correctly because we're a poor nation. Really don't have a lot of air superiority. Let's go ahead and bump what bonuses we can get. Um, we have some upgrades randomly. Looks like we can go offensive doctrine. Yeah, we could train these. I'm actually not against starting training on those. The equipment requirement is super low for infantry for us. All that can start training. Not as low for vehicles. We do not have the vehicles to do that. And then our upgrades here on tanks. That's what. That's basically a year worth of. In a year, we'll have these upgraded to this Pole's design. I don't think we have our coax weapon. Yeah, our coax are not maxed. But we can upgrade that. Um, yeah, let's see political power wise where we're at. We're gonna go ahead and boost the Icarian government. That'll be what we spend our next 100 political power on. And we'll start attacking this Democratic Party. So that'll move them down to like that 34% range. That may actually pull some power from us, but I'm not terribly worried about it if they both go down to 15%. It is the risk we take. As we spend billions and billions of dollars on propaganda. The typical authoritarian state and democratic. All propaganda. Always trying to manipulate us. Anything any political person or non-political person comments, it's propaganda of some sort. Whether that's propaganda pushing their own beliefs or others. Literally everyone's biased. You just can't get around it. But there are some hard truths. Like us right now, we are super desperate for raw resources. And we raw material resources. And we cannot trade at a reasonable rate for rare earth metals. So, what is our solution? To grab what we can. I'm eyeing these very much so. Like, NATO's looking pretty tasty there. That would be good. They got rubber in this region for some reason. But the Ural's there with precious metals too. And this has oil. Oh my god, I have to take that. You can't not take it. It's too available. Alright. We're gonna go ahead and boost this. I was thinking that that would lower us, but I think it just boosted us up. that's a wild thought. I think we were at 25.8% and it went up to 26. If that's what happened, that's kind of crazy. Somalia here. They don't want nuclear power. The Sudan, the Darfur, Chad, but Iran. Oh, we don't have enough money. That's why no one wants it. Too expensive. There's a reason they just don't have we don't have the money, sorry. Not they. We do not have the money. And how are the construction? We're losing factories still. We're making railroads though, that's good. Yeah, if we look here, one of these should be done. Yep, this one finished. So this is now a 6. And looks like we may have finished the Sochi to Batum route. All of that is good news for us. Yeah, and it looks like we're getting a ton of political power gain from our propaganda. So we have less than a year, though, to make these moves and usurp this party for that top spot. Yeah, their alignment's 39%. That's pretty big. We're still pushing 27 with the non-aligned party, political party. All right. All right. Let's see how many we need. We need 400 more. And those are coming from what airbase? Right here? So we're going to get our 5th gen Astrakhan AS2. We're going to put all 400 there. SAMs, we get max tier. Cannot assign it a military company. Like IFVs. We do have a very big stockpile on arms now. Jets, we're just going to build up until we get to 1,000. And then we're going to lower our production rate down to 5 factories. And then we'll start realigning our resources. Yeah, it looks like we're doing okay. There's 17 days left of propaganda, so that's something to note, because we'll lose ground to the Western outlook. We got future air-to-air weapons. That means we can get hard countermeasures. And once we get air to ground, I think we'll be able to start research on internal bays. And once we get the internal bays, we can make those 6th gen light fighters. Air to ground's in 170 days, so that's wrapping up. 6th gen light fighters is right after that, so we'll be just waiting effectively on that airframe to have the equipment that we want. So we'll just build an airframe, sit on it with 5th gen equipment, and then we'll upgrade it afterwards with another model. Alright, we should have enough money now. Somaliland. The joys of nuclear power, you want them. Looks like we're back to fast growth. That is going to boost everything. Political power and income. Should affect GDP growth. Yeah, we're almost pushing 1% again. We've got fulfillment back up to 78%. Offices are above 90 now. So that is population growth that we do need. Which I think we'll have max from tech here yeah, about a year. I was going to say another couple months, but it's a year. Construction wise, we're a little behind the 8 ball, but we're getting there. Political power, we're hard pushing 27%. They're 33. So we'll be at like 26. They'll be at 31 once we get this next month through. Yeah, and then we do have more decisions. So we're about to finish up our propaganda campaign. So we will start losing non-aligned alignment. But we'll get more political power. So in 1 month, we'll be able to generate a 2% shift. It's probably more effective if we don't do the alignment boost with propaganda, just because of the political power we have. But definitely stacking methods is preferred. There are 43 decisions. I don't know why there's so many decisions. That's a weird one to me that there are that many. Anyway, we'll just sit here on our propaganda. Looks like our foreign influence is still continuing to drop, with China kind of pushing up. I think they were down to 26% at one point. But yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we're up to 27 billion a cycle now too. And I'm not going to pay down debt until we get 15 investments going all at one time. I don't know how long that'll take, but we may go through multiple cycles. Yeah, I just want to watch this too. Yeah, as we get our economic recovery, we're down to 9 trillion in debt. Our GDP is pushing over 16 trillion. Our GDP per capita is 200,000. Our productivity growth is at 7, which is, we're actually below the global average. So, take that for what you will. And that has to do with Europe, Africa, and China being just massive in the United States. I haven't looked at the ledger in a while. Let's look at this. So we are fighting with Colombia. The Philippines and Ukraine are still ahead of us. What? The US has no debt, but their GDP per capita is atrocious. This is $199 trillion of GDP for both Africa and the European states. China and the United States are, even with all their territorial gains, are still behind. They're 10 times as big as us, which is insane to think about. All right, so we should be getting more political power gain, period, just because we have less equipment researching. Go ahead and get these upgraded modules, and then we can upgrade the military factories, and then we can upgrade the equipment. period. Full stop. We still didn't get enough. Now let's see how much we dropped. Yeah, I figured we'd lose 1%. Which isn't great, but it's still high for us. And this needs to go over 100 right now. Still less. It's like 99.9. Click it. And yeah, we lost some, but not as much as they did. Overall, it's going to be real bad for them. So we'll do propaganda for non-aligned. We're already into mid-September, so there's October, November, December, and then 5 months till our next election. No, 4 months. So 7 total.
Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next episode.